Okay, so you know how they say social media is like ruining the kids, or social media is causing mental illness? I don't. So this is a complex topic, and it's not a simple yes or a simple no. It's more like it's just complicated because the whole human species is complicated when you get down to topics like social media or mental illness or any of this other stuff. It gets complicated when we start talking about the deep things of us. So social media, it's just a tool. Like it's just a tool that we can use. We can use it for many different things. That's maybe the issue, is that it's a tool that can be used for many different things, and therefore it has the ability to be a tool that is not beneficial or a tool that is beneficial. Now, the biggest issue is when you say social media and I say social media, it's like the same effect that you have. We was talking about this over in True Life Stories, and like how like you can say God, and a bunch of people might have a different envisionment of their head of what they mean, even though they all mean the creator, but it's different for everyone. So because the experience is different for everyone. So social media, the experience is different for everyone. So when the people that say social media is not causing mental illness, the reason they say that is because of the way they use social media. But if someone says social media does cause mental illness, it more shows the way that they use social media. And this is what I mean, that we're unintentionally speaking the truth about what is without us recognizing it. That the truth is yes and no, because the truth is that everyone has a different experience with the human experience. So like I could say I love pizza. I mean, I don't know a human being that doesn't fucking love pizza. But like if there's something that I like to eat that you would think is disgusting, and I would say it's one of my favorite foods type shit. That's what I mean. Our experience with the same thing is different. So, does social media cause mental illness? In some people, it makes their mental illness worse. In some people, it has nothing to do with their mental illness or their emotions whatsoever, and it's a tool that they use. For other people, it's a tool that they use to have fun or to pass time, or they use it in the same way that people use TV. Um, because social media is a multifaceted, like, there's so much you could do with it that it will never be a simple yes or no answer, because what I do with social media might be completely different than what you do. The content I watch might be completely different than the content you watch. And there's some people that say it's not just about social media, it's about technology in general, and how like technology um they think technology takes us away from life, when from my perspective it is a part of life. So if you're not using the technology, it's almost like they're missing a part of the modern life. And this is, it always goes back to everyone has a different experience because every human being is different. So like I'm experiencing social media the way I'm experiencing it because of my intention with it and because of why I want to use it. I get something out of it. Also, the algorithm is this, it's kind of, it was added to social media because it wasn't there originally. But like it's this thing that almost pushes your patterns back to you. So whatever your patterns are get pushed back to you, And I've said this in a video before that this is kind of the problem that social media has done is it's put up a mirror to the human species before it was ready to look in the mirror. Because not everyone's ready to look in the mirror. So therefore, instead of saying that their habits on social media are bad, they say the whole social media is bad. Just like the people that say drugs are bad, it's because they can't do drugs without becoming extreme drug addicts that like go down, the fucked up part about drugs, right? That's what they associate in their head. So then therefore they say drugs are bad. But people that understand there's benefits to drugs and not all drugs are bad and how it's like complicated, it gets back to the idea that everything that's real is complicated and cannot be a simple yes or no. Drugs are bad. Well, yes and no. Social media is bad. Well, yes and no. Like, it's complicated because it's all about how the person uses it, why they're using it, like their intention. It all depends on the person because social media and drugs are just tools. They are tools that we can use, but they're also tools that we can abuse. And it's also fine. Like, I think we take shit way too seriously and we're like, social media is bad, drugs are bad, and it's like, bro, they exist, so it's not about whether the humans think it's good or bad. They exist in the world, and there's nothing we can do about it besides learn how to use the tools correctly. Because if we do not learn how to use the tools correctly, of course the shit's gonna fuck our lives up. Like, of course it is. If you don't understand anything about drugs, of course they fuck your life up. But if everyone understood that heroin was addictive and like physically addictive and how like if like I've never tried meth or cocaine, right? But there's a reason. Because I've seen like I've had friends that have completely basically lost their minds from the meth. So it was a very easy turn off for me to be like, "Oh, I see them use the drug. I see they say it feels so good, but then I see 5 years later they are fucked up and not in the good way. Like, I mean, like mentally fucked up, not even there anymore, not even the same, like literally not even the same person, like in some weird psychosis, scratching on the wall looking for cameras type shit. Like, I seen it with my own eyes. So it was an easy way to be like, fuck that. But that's like my experience has put me in situations where I was able to learn about drugs before I even did the drugs, where I was able to, like, before I even did DMT, I researched it for a year. Like, 1 year of research before I even tried it. Like, years of research before I ever did mushrooms or LSD. Like, years of research on molecules and receptors and all these things. And that's just my experience with drugs. So, of course, I'm the type of person that's going to say, yeah, drugs are not bad. They're just drugs. Like, I don't know. Social media is not bad. It's just social media. The thing that makes it bad is our lack of understanding how to use it correctly without it fucking our lives up. And also understanding that we got to parent ourselves. So, like, if you're using a drug and it's fucking up your life, you're the one that has to say, yo, this shit's fucking up my life. Because I have a rule, right, with myself that it's like, if I'm using a substance and it's not bettering my life, then what the fuck am I using it for? And I'm not talking about bettering my feelings. Fuck my feelings. I mean, actually, because any drug's gonna make your feelings feel better. But it's more about, well, is it actually helping me in my life somehow? If not, then I'm not gonna use it. So it's just this thing that I have. So it's like I use drugs. They help me. Like, I mean, because even THC is a drug, right? So when, like, the word drug is funny, caffeine is a drug. So, like, yeah, I use certain drugs that help me in my life, and that's fine. If they start fucking up my life, they get out of my life. That's just a rule I've made. So it's the same thing with social media. If social media was fucking up my life, or fucking up my relationship with my family, or fucking up whatever, I'm out, bro. I'm gone. Y'all will never see me again. Because but I know it's not. It actually benefits my life because it's part of a plan that I have for my life. It's like social media is a tool that I'm just using because I have an idea, and the tool could help me with my idea, which is just this. Like, I just want to express myself. I just want to be myself, say whatever the fuck's on my mind, right? Also, I got a like few plans, business plans, all this other shit, like just plans, things I'm trying to do, and I use social media to learn and to expand my mind, so it benefits me because I don't read books. I use social media to gain information because, or like like listen to audiobooks or I whatever, but it's this thing where I have built a system that allows me to use the tool to its fullest capabilities for myself. The same thing goes for psychedelics, meditation. Meditation is just a tool that you can use to help you learn how to control your mind. But at the end of the day, the meditation is not going to do shit for you. It's just a tool that can help you do shit for yourself. Like, all of these things are just tools. So it's like I look at social media in a similar way that I look at meditation or psychedelics, that they're tools and I use them, but I got educated because I seen that these tools do fuck people's lives up. Right? Like, I've seen it. I seen it with the meth. I see it on the internet when people talk about how social media causes depression. I don't just blow them off and be like, oh, these fucking. Like, no, I actually listen to what they are saying because I want to understand what they mean. Because to me, it does not do that at all. It has nothing to do with my mental health. It's just a tool that I use. But I can see after listening to people, if people just blindlessly scroll, but their algorithm is like pushing their habits back to them, and if their habits are not good habits, meaning if you all you watch is like funny videos or like dumb like trend videos, or I don't know, if you watch a bunch of hot chicks, bro, like then the algorithm's gonna push you a bunch of hot chicks and you're gonna think social media is just filled with a bunch of half naked women. No, that's just your algorithm. That's just you. And that's the issue because it's just me. Like, my habits were me. As soon as I stopped watching and liking hot chicks on the internet, I stopped seeing these hot chicks on the internet. Like, it's that thing that, like, I don't know, you get what you watch. So like now I get a lot of Dragon Ball things because I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball stuff, and I was getting a lot of Andrew Tate and workout stuff and psychedelic stuff and motivational stuff and all that type of shit because that's the type of shit that I watch if I'm scrolling on the internet. So like it's the algorithm pushes me what it knows will keep me on the app because it now knows that if I see a hot chick, I'm immediately scrolling past fast or I'm turning the app off. So then the algorithm can do whatever the fuck it needs to do to understand I don't want to see that content. And it's like you can train your algorithm to push you content that actually helps you because I live alone, right? Sometimes I need a little boost, a little bit of a you got this, bro. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And sometimes social media helps me with that. Like, so, like, that's not bad. I don't know. Netflix isn't bad. I watch Netflix with, like, my daughter. I watch anime with my daughter. Or it's on Hulu now. But, like, we'll watch different anime shows and different things or whatever. And it's this thing because we both love anime. So it's this thing where it's like, well, that's fine. It wouldn't necessarily be fine though because I see why people think it's not fine because they're like if all you do is connect through a TV and it's like no, me, my daughter, and my mother have like 2 hour conversations at my mom's kitchen table, just us talking with our phones down type shit. So it's this thing that if it was fucking up my life, it would be out of my life. But because I've learned how to use it for my life, because the way I use social media is not going to work for anyone else, because the way I use drugs isn't going to work for anyone else. The way I smoke weed isn't going to, like, the way I live is not going to work for you, because I had to figure out how I could live that could benefit me. And, like, what is your intention? Like, my intention is to be the best version of me. So I use these tools and all these different things and all these different techniques, meditation, all this shit is literally just to become a better version of me. And now that I'm a better version of me, I'm trying to fix my life up even better. But, like, it's just this thing where I wanted to be able to function at my highest level, and so I use tools. And what I'm also trying to do is social media and trying to just make videos and do this thing. And I have a bunch of ideas, and like I just want to try these ideas. And social media helps me with just putting out my ideas and trying my ideas. But like, it also was this journey thing where it was like a video log. Like originally it was like I started my shamanic psychedelic journey and I just started documenting it. I started documenting my trips. I started documenting my thoughts. I started documenting my growth, and like that's what my social media was for. So that's what I used it for. So like I just think it's about being intentional. That people are not conscious about what they're not conscious with the things they're doing. Like they're not consciously making a decision to be like I'm using social media because of this. They're just unconsciously scrolling. Now I unconsciously scroll as well. But like I said, when I unconsciously scroll, I see motivational things, psychedelic things, spiritual things. I just see humans also. Like I love social media because I get to see people, bro. Like that's why I love TikTok originally. I love TikTok because I see real human beings, just real people. Fuck this perfect camera view. Fuck this perfect in a studio. Like, fuck that. Like, I see real people just doing their thing, bro. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Just saying what's on their mind. Sometimes they make good, like, edited videos, but there's something that's more personal when the camera's turned like that and you're like, hey, what's up, guys? Or this is the message I have, or whatever, whatever. But, like, I don't know. It's just social media is a beautiful thing. It's this thing that connects the whole human planet together, but it's also can disconnect people from the people that are actually physically around them if they're not careful. And it's up to the individual to be careful. Just like I don't think drugs should be illegal just because a few people use them incorrectly. I think that we should be taught how to use drugs correctly without, whatever, and so we could be safe with them. And we should be there is like we really somehow should be taught about social media. They should add it into schools or something where it's like we figure out how to use social media without fucking up mental health or without fucking up your life. And once it starts fucking up your life, you need to start getting it under control. It's the same thing with drugs. If you are drinking too much and it's fucking up your life, disconnecting you from your family, it's time to get that shit under control. It's the same thing. It's just as adults, we need to learn how to use these things correctly. And as the adults, we need to then help guide the children to use these tools correctly.